Alright, my name is Calvin Wu, and for my YA Lit assignment book, I'm doing The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. Quick summary, it is about an old fisherman named Santiago in Cuba who goes out fishing alone. Looks like it's gonna be an ordinary day. And then as he's fishing, he hooks a giant marlin, which takes him about 3 days to wear down and eventually kill. And on his way back, he eventually loses it all to sharks on the journey home. So it is a very readable book. It's not very complex at face value, and it's short at 127 pages, so it is good for readers with shorter attention spans. The language in it, fairly standard, although slightly unconventional due to its sparing use of Spanish. It does, however, define most of the terms used. As a mentor text, the mentor text features of this book that I would use. One of them would be how the author creates characters, both direct and indirect. The book is short, but it does develop the old man through flashbacks. The old man's brief interactions with other characters, as well as with the marlin that he catches, kind of define who he is as a person. For the most part, the character is kind of set in stone. The character, Santiago, does not change, just our understanding of him grows, which is a different way that some authors develop characters, which I thought was interesting. Then there were the descriptions of the old man's pain and struggle and how he handles them also develop his character. Speaking of a point in the book where he has a cramp in his hand, he says, "You can let the cord go, hand, and I will handle him with the right arm alone until you stop that nonsense." I thought it was interesting. It shows his resolution, his determination, and that nothing will stop him. You know, his hand cramps and he's just like, all right, go ahead and cramp. I'll just do it with this hand alone until you cut it out. I thought was kind of cool. Then it talks about his past when he was young and about an arm wrestling match that lasted a full 24 hours. And it reads, "And at daylight, when the bettors were asking that it be called a draw and the referee was shaking his head, he had unleashed his effort and forced the hand of the Negro down and down until it rested on the wood." Talking about how he beat someone in an arm wrestling match that lasted a full day. Kind of interesting there. Shows who the old man is kind of as a person, kind of his determination, his resolution. And that gets further developed as the plot continues. And then the other mentor text feature is the use and impact of elements of craft. First is the tone of the book. Overall, the tone is very calm. It's very similar to the demeanor of the old man. He goes through all this pain in his body. He's not elderly, but he is older. And the only time that he really becomes even slightly desperate was right before he kills the marlin. He is basically so exhausted for not having slept in 3 days, and now he knows the marlin is close to being defeated, and he's getting desperate right at the end. He says, "I wouldn't even mind if you killed me," and things like that. And even when the sharks came, he was calm and prepared and not panicked at all. He just eventually was resigned. He said, okay, this is happening. There's nothing I can do to stop it. I just gotta go back home now. I just want to go home. Also, imagery in the novel was used to great effect. Visuals painted about the sea and the rising sun and the moon. One excerpt from it reads, "The sun was brighter and the glare came on the water, and then as it rose, the flat sea sent it back at his eyes so that it hurt sharply, and he rode without looking into it." Also, descriptions of pain that the old man experiences. For example, "The old man could hardly breathe now, and he felt a strange taste in his mouth. It was coppery and sweet, and he was afraid of it for a moment." Just very interesting descriptions of both the sea and the sun, the moon, the pain, everything. The imagery painted in this novel was very, very, very interesting to read. Overall, I did enjoy this book, and also as it is a short book, I think it's useful for teaching these sorts of mentor text features to students who may prefer shorter stories. And, you know, they don't have an interest in reading a text that's 400 pages long. Something quick, something easy, but still very useful. All right. Thank you, and I'll see y'all later.